Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be making a response to one of the videos I made last week about how to take mid control as a T. This is how to defend against mid control as a CT. So one thing you have to keep in mind is that your cat player and your connector player have to be on the same page. They have to know when they're fighting and when they're falling back. So I'm going to start off with connector, then I'll go to window, then I'll go to cat. So when you're playing connector, or at least when I'm playing connector, I usually play an off angle like this. Alright, I can see underpass, maybe get a couple shots off before the guy comes out. I can hold the connector run up. It's very unlikely that, ooh, I went too far. Very unlikely that somebody coming up connector is going to be like pre-aiming right there when they're coming up. Probably going to be aiming right in there. So I can catch them off guard by playing right here. So, when I'm playing connector and people are taking mid control, they either smoke off like right about here. In which case, like, connector is completely smoked off, and what I would do here is I would tell my A guy, hey, I'm leaving. I would go pick up window, because my window player should be going over to market, because it's very likely that when they smoke off connector, they're going to be running up cat. Very simple. Just as if they smoke off cat, it's very likely that they're going to run up connector. Now, something that you have to keep in mind with that is that when they smoke off cat, although it's likely that they come up connector, connector takes a lot longer for them to come up than it does for them to come up cat. So you don't want to just assume that they're not there because they didn't immediately run up connector. No, they're probably scared and didn't want to run up immediately. So if I'm smoked off front, probably not going to do too much with it. Or if they're if they're not like immediately coming up cat and my cat player still has control and they smoke this off, what I'll do is that I'll throw an underhand smoke to the right side of connector. It's going to bounce off this little wall, and what that's going to do is allow me to have a one-way once their smoke fades, and they won't notice. So their smoke is faded, but there's still a smoke down. Oh, I did it too fast. But this smoke is still down. It goes right into that little corner, and I now have a one-way for top mid. I can kind of see cat if I get on these stairs, and I can also have a one-way for underpass. Now, this is not a good smoke, but it's a pretty nice smoke when they already have a smoke down and they're not going to be checking to see if it's faded. They just see the smoke fog there and they assume that it has not faded, so I might be able to get a cheeky little pick. Now, the other option that they could smoke is right here, top connector. And when you're playing inside connector, you got two options. You can either immediately fall back through the smoke, which would be the safe bet, or you can stay aggressive and try to maintain your connector control. The problem with that is that they're usually going to molly off connector with that kind of smoke. Let's say they actually molly off properly. Let's say they actually mollied off properly. There we are. They're probably going to molly off connector with that top connector smoke so they can take control nice and slow. So, if you do get mollied, you're probably dead, but your job is to get at least one, maybe two, if you possibly can. So, that's about it for connector. Now, moving on to window, you're probably going to have an op. If you have the best spawn, you're going to peek it at the start of the round. But two smokes that they normally throw, actually, let me maintain that op. Two smokes they normally throw is either a window smoke or a top mid smoke. Now, with a window smoke, there's nothing too much you can do. It used to be that if you got smoked off window, you could fall off con, maybe use your smoke to smoke palace so you can't get peeked from there. Maybe. I can't smoke anything properly today. Alright, there we go. So, and you would maybe hold like right here or just something. But now, since they can self-boost into window, it's probably a better idea just to stay here. Hold right there. If you hear that they're coming up con, you can switch to right here. Pretty good angles all around. Now, if they smoke top mid off, you got a couple options. One, if you have a rifle, which, yeah, I mean, sometimes the mid player has to play with a rifle. If you have a rifle and they smoke, let's say that smoke's actually proper, you're going to immediately molly off behind boxes and then wait for somebody to peek out on that side. Or the better option is you molly off behind boxes, you fall off a little bit, and you just spam into the smoke, in which the players will be forced out to. So, the other option is with an op. You don't have to molly off, but instead you can just post up right here, wait for somebody to peek, maybe one scope it, sit right here so you can flick if they come up and boost up. But overall, you're probably going to be wanting to play very passive with that smoke, or if the smoke's a little bit deeper, and I throw it properly, there we go, and you don't want to take this fight, it's just not worth it. You might want to hold right here. You can catch them as they're coming up cat through the smoke. Pretty nice angle right here. They're not going to be immediately looking at you, and you have the advantage here. And then, of course, you can always fall back and play cat like this. But you have to tell your connector player or your A players, hey, they can come up. Now, for cat, so as the cat player, you're probably going to be playing with the rifle. You could play with the op, but it's more likely that you're going to have a rifle. So things that you have to keep in mind, places that you can get smoked off. They can smoke off cat right like this. You can have your buddy boost you up here, or you can take the power move of walking through the smoke, getting into ladder room, okay? And you can either sit right here and hold the cat run up. You can get up here, ask your window guy to break the vent for you, and push through here. And you can either hold underpass, you can hold connector. This is a very powerful spot, but the only problem is once you get a kill here, you need to either immediately move there or fall off. It's not a one and done spot because you're not done after it, but it's a one and get the fuck out spot because you gotta get the fuck out after it, you know what I'm saying? So if you and your connector player want to go for an aggressive play, you can smoke off cat, maybe molly underpass for your connector guy, and both of you guys can swing out. You can also flash over for him, so you guys can peek mid pretty well, okay? One thing you have to be worried about is that if you don't have the best cat spawn, they could be in chair. Also, right here, standing up, it's going to be very difficult for you to hit this shot on the people on this bench, but they can hit a nice shot on you. But if you crouch, it's much easier. It's very hard for them to spot you, but you can see the top of your head, well, of their head. You're not going to be able to hit them, but you'll have the info that they're there, and you can just hold up the connector run up. So now, ways that you want to play mid together. Okay. First things first, you want to know your reads. Right? If they smoke window off, they smoke cat off, it's very likely that they're going for a con split. Vice versa, if they smoke window off, they smoke con off, it's very likely that they're going for a cat split or a B split. Okay. They're not always going to do this. Not everything's going to be as cut and dry as it is here. Sometimes they'll just smoke top mid off, and that's it. They won't do anything else. With that kind of smoke, your cat player and your con player are going to be the main mid holders. Your window player isn't going to be able to hold too much. Maybe hold the cat run up, so the cat player can hold a much more aggressive angle here. Not worried about somebody coming up on their left. And if somebody does come up on their left, and the window player misses the shot, they still have the info, and they can easily hit that shot. The connector player is also going to be holding an aggressive angle like this, and doesn't have to worry about smokes being down or anything like that because they only smoked top mid. Now if your cat player dies, it's a good idea. You can either stay right here because you can't fall off, or you try to fall off because you think that you can. A good flash for a connector player to help out mid is if you just get up halfway. You just aim it like right about there. Okay, that's going to be a nice flash over mid, nice centralized, and that's going to get just about everybody. Okay. Another flash for a window player is you can just get anywhere in this general area, crouch, aim up at the ceiling around these two dots, throw it, it's going to bounce up, nice flash. If you get it properly, like if you get right in this corner, you crouch, you aim it, I think it's this one, okay, they won't see the flash on its first time down, they'll only see it when it's coming up, so it gives them less time to turn. You can also throw this flash. And of course I showed you, I don't know why I keep pressing the wrong button. Of course I showed you the flash right here. You just kind of flash over. Or a flash that I sometimes like to throw, just standing throw, bounce off of that. Oop, I missed it. Standing throw, bounce off of that. Okay, it's going to make it awkward. How am I missing this? There we go. It's going to make it a bit awkward for them to turn. And I pressed the wrong button again, I swear to God. Because usually the flash is going to come up here, so if they hear that a flash is coming, they'll probably look down or turn away, in which it's still going to kind of blind them because it's coming this direction. But that's about it for mid controls of CT. It's not something that you can do individually unless you do it at the start of the round, which I guess I can kind of briefly cover. So there used to be a smoke over here. Actually, it was over here. I don't think it works anymore because they've messed with back mid. Actually, I know for a fact it doesn't work anymore. So, I'll find a new smoke. I'll let you guys know. But this smoke used to land right about here. That's how they mess this. But with this smoke, it's called the Astralis mid smoke. They throw it differently. But you can push up, throw a flash like high right, okay, and then you have pretty quality control. You can also throw a molly close, so they're forced to go on the back wall if they run through, and if they don't run through, you can quickly get behind box and mess around, you know. Another strat is that if you don't have that Astralis smoke mid, you can go right here and just drop a smoke like right there, okay. Jump up on this ledge, and now you have yourself a one-way. The only problem is that they will probably, like, coming out, just imagine yourself as a T, you see that smoke, you're like, alright, obviously something's happening. So they might fall off a bit and play more passive, or they might swing out and be dumb and be like, oh, they missed the smoke, and they're coming out of connector, they're right there or something, and you can catch them off guard by playing the chair. It's a very unlikely play. I would only do this like once a half, but that's about it. Thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know in a comment below. Sorry this video was a little bit, you know, just things mismatched here and there, but I tried to keep it all, like, you know, organized somewhat. So again, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a good day, and I'll see you next time.